said me and you are taking a knee. Chris again. Me and Fajenzi are taking a knee.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead, take a knee. That's acceptable.
We're going to stand up. We can
Another male piece.
I've got you on recording. I mean, it's going to get ugly.
You just got me going tonight. Okay.
Chair will call the August 4th, 2021 meeting of the City Council to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Clerk, if you please call the roll.
Will do. Alderman Redpath.
Here.
Alderman Gregory.
Here.
Alderman Williams.
Here.
Alderman Fulgenzi.
Here.
Alderman Proctor.
Here.
Alderwoman DeCenso.
Present.
Alderman McMiniman.
Here.
Alderwoman Connolly. Alderman Donlin.
Here.
Alderman Hanauer. Mayor Langfelder.
Here.
Mr. Mayor, a quorum is present.
Thank you. We do have one proclamation presentation for the Springfield High School baseball team. If you'd like to come forward.
One around him.
Yep.
Go line up.
Yep. That's good.
Oh, gotta get it. Where's my phone?
I'm sure with all of you here, especially this past year, any day in school would be a great day to be a senator, right?
Yes.
But especially with the great endeavor that you accomplished. It was very exciting, your baseball season. But with the challenges of the pandemic and what you had to go through, that really shows you rose above it. You really concentrated on working together as a team, and it showed with your comeback. Didn't matter what you're up against, you came back and were victorious, and we really appreciate you showing us the way to live our lives on and off the field, because that's, in the end, that's what it's all about, and we really appreciate the coaches and teaching that in these young people. So the proclamation reads, whereas 2020 was a challenging year on many fronts, and the pandemic halted our student athletes in many aspects, however, we were there to see the breakthrough moments and inspiring celebrations like the achievements we are recognizing today. And whereas the 2020-2021 Springfield High School boys baseball team demonstrates not only commitment, spirit, and pride, but the importance of having fun in whatever they set out to do. And whereas teammates Dalen Banks, Mark Black, Cooper Burke, Griffin Burke, Joseph Crum, Ryan Crum, Brody Erickson, Luke Flessner, Jacob Graham, Nick Hannig, Ben Hartle, Seth Impson, Joey Clint, Ben Parker, Adam Passmore, Avery Pound, Isaac Renison, Efron Rivera, Caleb Rogers, Richie Snyder, Jack Swaney, Case Sparks, and Alonzo Veach showed their heart and personality, hard work, and drive, and their accomplishments are to be celebrated. And whereas the 2020-2021 marked many victories for the Senators baseball team, including a 31-5 season and being coached by Jim Steinwert, the Springfield Senators coach for 34 years. And whereas the Senators went on to the IHSA Class 3A Championship at Wintrust Field in Schaumburg, taking on the Prairie Ridge Wolves. They won 8-7 and brought home the first state championship for the Springfield High School boys baseball team. And whereas this victory was especially impressive since in the 7 consecutive wins, there were 7 different winning pitchers, and in the last 6 games, the Senators had to come from behind wins. And whereas we thank their coaches, Jim Steinwert, Brady Burke, Ryan Dorr, Tim Elliott, Brent Trumper, and David Samara, Principal Dr. Lisa Lenardi, and their athletic director, Lori Smith, and the athletic trainer, Karen Gregory, for their mentorship, motivation, and encouragement to these student athletes. And whereas this story is the one for the record book, since it is the first for Springfield High and their baseball team, you are all inspiring, and in the words of our 16th president, Abraham Lincoln, by all means, don't say if I can, say I will. Now, therefore, I, James O. Langfelder, Mayor of the City of Springfield, together with our City Council and residents, do hereby proclaim that Wednesday, August 4th, 2021, shall be Springfield High School Baseball Team Day in the City of Springfield, and call upon all our citizens to formally recognize the 2020-2021 Springfield High School Boys Baseball Team and their coaches for their incredible season. Congratulations to the Senators.
Just on behalf of this crew of guys that were so wonderful to work with and their parents that are out in the crowd, I just want to thank you, Mr. Mayor, Alderman Redpath, and the entire City Council for recognizing this achievement, and we couldn't be prouder to represent the City of Springfield. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to say your name? Yep. After graduating, let us know where you're heading, if you'd like to.
I'm Caleb Rogers. I'm a senior. I just graduated this year. I'm headed to Lincoln Land Community College to continue my baseball career.
My name is Joseph Crum. I'm a graduated senior, and I'm going to Southwestern Illinois College to continue my baseball career.
I'm Ryan Crum. I'm going to be a junior at Springfield High.
My name is Ben Hartle. I just graduated from Springfield High, and I'm continuing my baseball career at Heartland Community College.
I'm Luke Flessner. I'm a graduated senior, and I'm playing baseball at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, Florida.
My name is Mark Black. I'm a graduated senior, and I'm attending Southwestern Illinois College.
My name's Case Sparks. I just graduated, and I'm attending Illinois College for attending baseball.
My name's Nick Hannick, and I'm going to be a senior next year.
I'm Alonzo Veach. I'll be attending Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville.
I'm Isaac Renison. I'll be attending Purdue University.
I'm Dalen Banks. I'll be attending John Wood Community College for baseball.
I'm Avery Pound. I just graduated, and I'll be attending Cornell University.
I'm Ben Parker, and I'll be going to American University in Washington, D.C.
My name is Ethan Rivera, and I'll be an incoming senior at Springfield High School.
My name is Seth Impson, and I'll be a sophomore next year at Springfield High.
I'm Joey Clint. I'm going to be a senior at Springfield High.
Yeah, Coach, wish you the best of luck. You had a lot of seniors, but I'm sure you're up for the task, and appreciate your great work, especially for the young ones that have tough shoes to fill, but I'm sure they'll be great, because it wasn't but 3 years ago or 4 years ago where you went to state previously. Yep, so great work. Keep it up. Thank you. Congratulations.
Good job, guys. You guys were fun to watch.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks.
Thanks, Coach.
Chair will entertain a a motion to dispense with the reading of the minutes of the July 20th, 2021 City Council meeting and approve the minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading, first reading of ordinances into the record of this City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. The chair will entertain a motion to incorporate the pre-council reading of the consent agenda into the record of this City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Chair will entertain a motion to place the consent agenda on final passage.
So moved.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. The voting is now open.
Sean.
Oh, I hit it.
The consent agenda passes 8 voting yes, none voting no. Agenda number 2021-239, 2021-254, 2021-255, 2021-289, and 2021-306 remain tabled or in committee. Is there any action on any of that? Next item on the agenda is 2021-305, an ordinance approving the appointment of Scott Marlowe to the Springfield Urban Forestry Commission. Chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2021-305 on final passage.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. The voting is now open. The ordinance passes 8 voting yes, none voting no. Next item on the agenda is number 2021-312, an ordinance authorizing an agreement with Morse Leonati Parker Limited for design services for Municipal Center West, one-stop shop, interior renovations for an amount not to exceed $34,765 for the Office of Public Works. Chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2021-312 on final passage.
Mr. Mayor, on this one here, I thought some important issues were raised last week that I was unfamiliar with, having to do with the eventual final cost being $500,000. And I know right now we've got a lot of COVID inflated costs out there because the service construction folks are so busy with projects. And this is the $500,000 for the redesign, or this is a design contract for roughly $34,000, but the follow-on contract would be $500,000 as discussion last week. And I wonder if we want to hold this till the spring and just see how things are going with the construction costs. And I don't see this as essential. I think that there's a good reason to put folks on the first floor, although not everybody would be on the first floor. We'd still have folks coming for HR, coming up there all the time and so forth. But just wanted to see what the other council members would think about just holding this till the spring and see what construction costs are doing and how vital this is in comparison to all the other projects that we have. And I appreciate your email today, Director, talking about that you'd like to get everyone on the first floor to the extent possible that can be put on the first floor if they have to go from one office to the next and so forth. So I just want to add those comments.
Sure. And we did build in the costs into that $500,000, $600,000 estimate that I did give you. We estimated actually originally before COVID, this is going to be around $400,000. So we did try to build that into account. And this is only for design, so we don't necessarily, it'll get us ready for construction and we can bid it out. And if we get high bids, we simply don't have to award it.
Alderman Donlin.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Director. You know, when I asked that question last week about the cost and got the number of $500,000 to $600,000, it's no secret that I kind of, it was a wow moment. That is an extremely high cost. Mayor and I talked about it since the meeting, and I know the original amount that we were given, we took out of the budget, I believe it was 2 years ago, if not 3, was around $200,000 to $300,000. So here's the concept I'd like to throw out there, and I appreciate you pointing out that this is indeed for the architect to provide basically what it's going to look like and then more of a scope as far as the actual cost. Here's what I would like to entertain. If we could have a commitment that before anything is done, if this ordinance passes this evening, that is, before anything is done, that you come back to council or as I mentioned to the mayor, you invite a couple of us in at a time and go over what they came up with, go over the estimated cost, and then decide whether we want to proceed. I don't mean to imply that $34,765 is a low sum of money, but I understand that architects cost, and there is some design work that needs to be done. But if it's anywhere near $500,000 to $600,000, I'll be a no vote. That's just ridiculous. And so I would consider moving forward with the understanding that we'll come back to council and we will be briefed prior to that event occurring.
Alderman Fulgenzi.
Yes, one of the things I'd like for you to consider is a one-stop shop where the person brings in their request for permits with all the different applicable, the permits and so forth, and just give it to one person, and that person walks it around to the different desks and make sure it's completed and see that it's expedited, rather than the permit seeker going around to all the different offices. Why don't we have one of our employees just carry it around to the different desks, and that's their job, is to make sure that it's expedited. Just look into that if you could.
Yeah, so we can do logistically, and obviously with the online permit and plan review, that is going to help out a portion of the process. Some people obviously are going to still want to come in, which we would have to scan it in, and then we can distribute it around to still expedite the process as much as possible. I'll see what we can do to consolidate some of our permits as well.
Any other discussion? The one thing I will say is this was, as Alderman Donlin had alluded to, this has been on the drawing board for probably 3 or 4 years, actually. And then the original cost was anywhere from $200,000 on up to $400,000, I believe. But we never did have the architectural drawings, so we really don't know what the estimate or the actual finalized cost could be. The other part that needs to be emphasized is, with this day and age, with the pandemic, it's good to not have people limiting people's trips throughout the building. The other thing is, with regards to security, doing the same. So that's the whole purpose. And then, as Alderman Fulgenzi pointed out, service, having everybody on the first floor for those service levels. And it'd be helpful if we do consolidate the permitting, as we've heard last week, the process, not only online, but also internally, to expedite it and try to get that as much as possible to 24-hour, 48-hour turnaround. So those are the main goals with this whole project, but you definitely have to do the design work first. Any other discussion? Is there a motion?
Motion for passage.
Second.
Been moved and seconded for passage. Any discussion on that? All those in favor of the motion vote yes. Those opposed vote no. The voting is now open. And the ordinance passes, 7 voting yes, 1 voting no. Next item on the agenda is 2021-313, an ordinance approving the reappointment of Randy Belleville to the Springfield Urban Forestry Commission. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2021-313 on final passage.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All those in favor of the motion vote yes. Those opposed vote no. The voting is now open. And the ordinance passes 8 voting yes, none voting no. Next item on the agenda is agenda number 2021-314, an ordinance authorizing an increase in the number of Class D liquor licenses by 1 for TKE1 Lounge LLC, doing business as TKE1 Lounge, located at 1701 J. David Jones Parkway. The chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2021-314 on final passage.
So moved. Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? We did have someone signed up to speak. Tony Smart-Jesse. I don't know if he's here.
She doesn't have to, but I just want to thank her for her patience on this one.
Taylor. Oh, Taylor. Sorry, Taylor. You want to come up?
You don't have to if you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Smart Jesse Taylor. I was just wanting to open up a sports bar and grill restaurant, TKE1 Lounge, located at the 1701 J. David Jones Parkway. It's the old brass rail. Just as like a homegrown restaurant to appeal to like my colleagues. I'm a nurse, travel nurse. I'm working over at St. John's right now. I guess that's all. I don't know.
Great. Anything else, Alderman Proctor?
No, again, appreciate your patience on this. We had some last-minute questions, and those were cleared, so we're all good. So I appreciate your patience on it.
Okay, thank you.
And thanks for your service at St. John's, too.
Thanks.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the ordinance, vote yes. Those opposed, vote no. The voting is now open. And the ordinance passes 7 voting yes, none voting no, and 1 voting present. Next item on the agenda is 2021-321, an ordinance authorizing an emergency contract with GE Steempower, Inc. for the inspection of the unit number 33 for a vibration issue for an amount not to exceed $195,000 for the Office of Public Utilities. For emergency passage, Chair will entertain a motion to place agenda number 2021-321 on final passage.
So move.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? Alderman McMinimum.
Discussion, Mr. Mayor. I understand that we've got no insurance coverage on unit number 3 at the present time, and I understand that this $195,000 is to inspect unit number 3, which we've had a lot of problems with unit number 3. I think it was $5 to $6 million of repair 2 years ago, which was covered by insurance. But now we don't insure that unit any longer because, for a number of reasons, it's been a real drain on our expenses. As I understand it, this $195,000 would be to review whether the least amount of money we'll spend to repair this unit will be $840,000, and that this inspection may reveal additional damage that would need additional dollars to be spent. This particular unit, based on the environmental rules that we're under currently, we almost got to retire it in 2023 because of the cost to satisfy the regulatory rules would be so prohibitive. So the issue before us is really, do we want to spend more money to spend more money when the unit has been so problem-ridden that it's a question about whether we want to sink more money into it, bearing in mind that this unit is barely economically viable now. In other words, oftentimes, maybe not this summer, but often we can buy power off the market at a lesser expense than the variable cost that this unit requires in terms of expenses. I know that we want to keep that coal mine active north of us, but I think any talk about they might close, I think, is a scare tactic.
That's not a scare tactic.
And so that's an issue out there. I think they'll want to keep it going, the coal mine, even if they might be saying the opposite, or some might be saying the opposite. So those are some of the reasons why I'm going to be a no vote on this. I think it's time to retire Unit 3, and it's time to avoid putting more money into Unit number 3.
Alderman Redpath and Alderman Donlin.
I understand your concern, Alderman. That is a very valid concern. We know that this eventually is going to be a unit that's going to have to go. We say that we're not covered by insurance, but we don't know what the cause of the problem was. We need to know through this ordinance to do an investigation on what really happened. We asked them what happened, said, we think lightning hit it. Well, they don't really know. So we need to open it up. We need to see what the problem is, and then the city council will have a better idea on how we go forward. We don't want to spend millions of dollars on this thing. I agree with you. That's not what we're trying to do. We do need to know the cause. We do need to know if it's viable to fix. If it's not viable to fix, I know the mayor's not going to go for it. Neither am I. Neither is anybody. But to say that it's a scare tactic, you have my word, it's not a scare tactic. We end up closing this unit down. We risk losing our coal supply, which means that we're going to be buying coal from either Southern Illinois or Kentucky. And if you think our costs are high now, wait till we add on the transportation costs of the coal just to bring it to Springfield. We can go out on the line and do the renewables, do the green solar, wind, whatever we want to do. But I think it's to our best interest to open this plant up and take a look at it, at least see where we're at.
Alderman Donlin?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. If I can ask a question of Mr. Brown. I just want if you could, just a summary. I'm sure Alderman Redpath hit it right on the head because he does his research, but if you could just kind of give us a summary, since it's an emergency passage ordinance, what this is all about, what the purpose is, what you anticipate finding, and then what happens. The second part of the question is what happens if we don't do it, and what happens if we do pass it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. So it was at the end of June, and I don't remember the exact date, but basically there was a storm that came through,
right,
and a lightning strike did cause phase A to go to ground. So our protective relay saw that and did what they're supposed to do. They tripped the unit. Unfortunately, though, we did not have we did not have any vibration problems beforehand. We tried to bring the unit back up, had a vibration problem. So through investigations, and then eventually opening up our condenser and looking inside, we could see actually the last stage of blades in the low pressure section, and we saw that the shroud had basically came loose from the side and bent out and damaged two of the blades. So we had GE provide us with an estimate of what the minimum cost would be to fix that for what we could see. I believe I had told everybody maybe before, but I can't remember. I know I had some other questions from some of you, and the question was like $840,000 was the minimum. It's actually, I was wrong. It was actually $951,000. So I got that corrected earlier today, or I should say this afternoon. So that is basically to remove the two damaged blades and then the opposing blades that are okay, we think that are okay, so that way it's balanced. That's the only way to do that. And what that does is that we put that one back into operation. At that point, then the turbine would be reduced in efficiency and limited to probably about 140 megawatts. To go, and so basically to know more, we have to pull the shell off the unit, off the low pressure section. So in order to do that, GE has to come in and then do that. It'll take about 3 days to open it and look at it. And that's basically $195,000. That's the ordinance that you have in front of you tonight. If there's no additional repairs, we're looking at 5 to 6 weeks for that repair and to put it back in service. Additional time. If there's other damage, then it's going to take longer, and then we'd have to come back. Either way, we still have to come back for the final cost of what it would be to fix the unit. If it's the $951,000, or maybe it's higher. So that's kind of the status of that.
So does this ordinance help? Does this process help us determine if someone else is at fault? Or does it just determine what the damage actually is from the lightning strike?
I would say that we won't know that answer until we will actually open up and look. I don't know if we can really for sure determine that from opening it up. Do you have any insight to that, Scott?
The only thing I can say is the lightning strike itself and that phase going to ground did not cause a damage. That would be electrical. This is mechanical. So in looking at the pictures originally, when GE seen what was going on and we showed them the pictures we took from the condenser, they said something had to go through that unit. So we had a borescope and we went through behind those blades to the next row of stationary and then through that stationary and looked. There's no debris in there, like something went through it. There's no damage on the top of the condenser like something went through it. So we're not sure exactly what caused that to come loose. When we had it out in 2018, we went through the report. They do, anytime we pull the rotor, we'll blast it and do a full inspection. There was no damage reported on any of those shrouds. So we're not sure until we get it open and see what actually caused the shrouds to come loose. But the lightning strike had nothing to do with it. It was just coincidence when it tripped and unloaded. Anytime you trip a unit at load that high is around 160, 170 megawatts. That's a lot of energy going through there, and an instantaneous trip out, it will speed up before the valves close. So it did speed up, but nowhere near catastrophic damage like we've seen in the past. Nowhere outside of normal on a full load trip like that.
It's expected for it to do that.
Yeah, that's typical of it speeding up. For some reason, those come loose, and we're not sure why.
It's got to be the unluckiest unit in the country.
Well, unfortunately, the previous instance wasn't, more of an operator type of an error with equipment failure tied into it.
The one before that was a manufacturer issue the last time we had the part.
But there is some bad luck to that unit, I think.
Alderman Proctor, then Alderman Williams.
Well, so without it running right now, are we just buying more power off the grid to compensate, or how are we?
Unit 4.
Unit 4 is handling the whole load?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen, do you remember what our load is right now, by chance?
Today, no. Like later, a couple of weeks ago when it was hot, we were buying, I don't remember the number now, roughly probably 75 to 100 megawatts. Right now, we're pretty much covering everything, except for maybe a few hours in the peak. Then when you look going forward, I think it's next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday next week, our projections are 350 megawatts, so we'll have to buy about 150 through the peak.
Oh, wow. How much would something like that cost,
If you could come up to the mic, please.
Sorry. Typically, what we've seen recently with gas prices being over $4 or close to $4, natural gas, we're typically seeing $40, $45.
So what's that total?
Depends on the duration, and it changes every 5 minutes, so it's hard to give you, that's just an average through the peak.
So the average cost of 33 variable costs is probably about 25? 24?
Full loaded, that's a minimum. Full load, it's about $28 or $29.
Oh, per megawatt?
Yeah.
Now, the fixed cost, I don't know if you remember from the IRP, it was in the low 50s. So that's variable and fixed for Unit 33. That's why the decision was made to retire that unit. So when you're dealing with more of a short-term look, you need to really consider what you're covering your variable costs to run that extra megawatt, that additional megawatt. So that's how it's priced into the market and how it runs. That's why 33, was running more this summer, is because prices were elevated into the low 30s earlier, and now they've been more to the mid 30s, with some going into the 40s.
Yeah, and we needed that when Texas had their issue, right? Down there, kind of. Sorry, Texas.
No, not necessarily, because MISO couldn't import power to Texas,
right.
So it didn't matter really what we did.
Trying to help you out.
It's not going to affect Texas.
Okay, don't help them.
But nobody can anticipate the market.
Yeah, actually, what Alderman Proctor brought up is a good point, because what Texas ran into is they didn't have their grid built out, so they couldn't import power. That's what we've recently done. If you can give an update while you're up here on the building out of the grid. Can we import enough capacity to do our native load and our peak load?
Right. So we have Unit 4. We have our gas turbines. And, with that, plus the build-outs that we're doing, we can import enough power during our peaks to do that. This summer, though, again, it's and even, last summer was even worse because of COVID. We're nowhere near the levels that we were in past summers. We don't know if that is going to correct itself, even across all of the country. I'm sure that the load will come back eventually over time. But so we are covered with what we are doing, because the line upgrade is done. The capacitor banks are getting very close to done. They're actually out there now. installing them, at Palomino and Tainer substations. So they're working on completing those. The only other obstacle that we have is dealing with employees, and as our operators transition to other jobs, eventually we're going to reach a point in time that we won't have enough operators to operate, or we will have to hire more operators and post jobs, hire them externally, train them, only to lay them off at a later date, which might make it more difficult to attract those new employees if we need them. So those are the kinds of things that we have to consider as we keep moving forward.
So does Dahlman covers our native load, and we're using the turbine units to that's a backup on the
correct
Dahlman.
Right.
Alderman Williams.
Yeah. So I wanted to know if you could talk a little more about impact. If this didn't pass tonight, what would those impacts be?
So if this doesn't doesn't pass, and the decision is made to basically retire Unit 33, then it means we would need to notify our employees that those jobs are going to disappear. We would look at starting immediately then for the jobs that have been applied to and we're close to a decision on, go ahead and release those offers to those employees so we can transfer them to new jobs. The employees that remain, really sit down with them and look at what other jobs are out there that we have in the city. Also look at doing work for actually decommissioning the units that we have. So there's additional work that needs to be done, and really keeping those employees on. It's not a 60-day type of notice. It's going to be longer. It would be something that would be probably at the end of the year, into the fiscal, more of a picture of what we need. There's some jobs that could last longer. There's still negotiations that have to be completed for certain jobs as well. There's common equipment between the units that we have to continue some of that work.
Okay, approximately how many jobs are we talking
23.
about? 23.
Any other? Alderman Donlin.
Thank you, Mayor. Doug, if I remember correctly, we had decided as a council and the mayor and the department to retire Unit 33 at the earliest at the end of 2023. Is that correct?
It was the earliest would be, September of this year, but no later than September of 2023.
Okay, thank you for that clarification. So that being the case, and I don't want you to go into detail, but do we have a plan and do we have an understanding of what the impact to our coal supply is, or would be if it is?
Yes.
Between? Okay, that's good to hear.
So basically, with Unit 4, it's about probably 500,000 tons of coal. We would burn with 33 and 4 probably close to 1 million tons. Last year, we only burned, because of COVID and the market prices were so suppressed, Unit 4 and 33 did not run as much as normal. We only used 440,000 tons of coal. So going forward with just Unit 4, we'll have 500,000 tons of coal. It can go up higher if the market prices go higher and the unit runs more. Granted, there's outages and those kinds of things that have to occur, so it reduces the downtime. But there's potential to run maybe as high as 600,000. But 500,000 is a more realistic number.
Well, we're being tasked this evening with deciding whether it's worth $195,000 to look into what exactly the problem is so that we can decide then if we want to keep running Unit 33 or not, right?
Correct.
So you are the engineer, you gentlemen are the engineers, this is what you do for a living. I just want to make it very clear, what is your professional recommendation that we do? Because when it comes down to it, from our perspective, one of the questions that we have to answer is, does it make economic sense for us to continue to run this unit? And we need to understand all the ramifications. And other than what was said this evening, we really haven't been briefed on it in quite a while. So what is your recommendation?
Well, there is like another point to be made, I guess.
Please.
So with the variable cost of the unit, with prices higher, there is a payback period essentially to spending the $951,000, okay? So it would probably take maybe a month's worth of runtime at a price of in the mid-30s to pay back that money. Okay, so with that in mind, it kind of makes sense maybe to continue with 33 and let's see what those repairs are going to possibly be. The only unknown issue that's really more concerning, I guess, is what about the employees and the jobs that they're applying for, and do we have enough operators to operate the unit? Because there's going to come a point in time, and we don't know exactly when. It's more sooner than later. That we won't have enough operators to operate the unit, because it's not a matter of, can the unions let us do more work, spread across different positions, that kind of thing, with a reduced workforce. Becomes a safety issue, really, more to the point that we don't want our operators being out there. It's 24 hours, 7 days a week. So we have to have those positions filled in order that they can man their jobs and do it safely and to make sure we're going about it in the right manner. So it's really kind of hard to say for sure, for certainty, I guess, in that regard. So if I was looking at more of an economics point, it's more about, okay, well, we could just run it for a little bit longer. It's worth just taking a look at it with the employees in mind, and it's more of it's a little bit more risky to spend that money. So the question is really, are we okay with spending the $951,000 as a minimum? And if we're okay with that, then we can go ahead and go forward with this 195 and figure it out.
What's your recommendation?
So, I think with the employee issue, it makes it harder to do that. But I think it's still worth a risk to open it up and look at the repairs and see what's going on.
Because if we do not pass this tonight, it's closing.
Correct.
Right away.
That's correct.
Unavoidable.
I mean, because it cannot operate right now. So the staff that we have, they're coming in and doing their jobs for what they need to do, but that's it. We can't produce power until we address this issue.
Thank you.
Any other discussion?
I just have some clarity. So with the employees and that risk, as far as impacting employees, that's something we're going to be faced with before 2023 anyway. I mean, that same impact will exist even though we do this.
Yes, it's a little bit different, I guess, because there's certain jobs that we're going to need to fill sooner than later that are higher paying jobs that they will not be available to the employees if we didn't let them transfer to them. So if we let them transfer, again, we're going to have to either not run the unit or we're going to have to hire off the street, posting the jobs, and then let those individuals work for maybe a year, 2 years at the max before we would have to be forced to lay them off. There might be other jobs come available throughout the city by then. That's very possible. But at any point in time, you're right, we'll still hit that same issue where those employees could be transferred to another position, and we would still be in that same position maybe in another year or two, or not in two, but within a year.
Further on the same issue, go ahead.
No, I'm finished.
I just wanted to ask,
John, your microphone is off. Your mic. There you go.
I'm concerned about the employees, don't get me wrong. But we're also supposed to be concerned about the ratepayers of the citizens of Springfield and how much they're paying for electricity. So what's the balance here? How much is it costing us to keep the employees, and how much is it costing the ratepayers to keep it operating?
Well, and that's again, that was the IRP. Forgive me, I'm trying to remember the numbers off the top of my head. It was like $200 million over 10 years was the cost to keep 33. So that's obvious why we chose to shut it off. I think it seemed like it was 10 to 15 million range per year to keep 33 with a full in cost, the fixed and the variable, compared to basically buying off the market.
It's going to cost more to keep 33, about $1 million a month.
Roughly, yeah, yes. So, with this, it does allow us to, if we went forward with the 951,000, if that's what we ended up doing as a final, again, it could be more, but if we paid that and then it took a month of run time, if market prices stayed high enough, then it would pay back the cost of what we've done. Okay? So with that in mind, the short-term outlook is it's not that bad of a decision to do. But it also depends upon what happens with the market prices. We can't control that, and we don't know that. So,
have you seen the market prices go up or down lately?
They've gone up. I mean, since basically the summer, and that's driven by natural gas prices. If natural gas prices go down this fall, then energy prices are going to go down.
Do you see that happening?
I think it'll decrease a little bit. I don't think we'll see the same decreases that we normally do. I mean, have you anything to add?
We do get long-term projections periodically from TEA for natural gas, and currently they are $4. I just looked at them this morning. In about April of next year, they're going to come back down $3.50-ish, $3.20-ish is their projection. It'll slowly taper off. And then going forward after that, they fall even further. So we are at a peak right now, and they're going to slowly start tapering off, and then later on they'll be down. Now, one thing I do want to mention, though, when you look at $40 prices, that is on peak, and that is only a short term. That's only during the summer we're seeing that. You look at average price for the entire year, and we're still around $32, $33. So it kind of changes that context of it long term. So it depends if you're looking short term or you're looking long term.
Depends on the season.
Depends on the season, too.
Alderman McMiniman, and then Alderman Gregory.
This is a good discussion. As I understood, regarding Unit 33 employees, we've got, I think you mentioned 23 positions, and we've got some open positions in Unit 4 right now. So how many of those 23 employees working in Unit 33 could move over to Unit 4 at the present time, or are you anticipating?
Currently, soon will be 5.
Was that
6 total?
Does that include solids?
No, that doesn't include solids. Then you got, there's, I'm going to talk through this while
Okay, 5 or 6, okay, I get
Right,
that.
correct.
Roughly 5 or 6.
5 or 6. Then we have 2 supervisors that are open right now that we're going to make offers to employees. We're going to have to juggle being able to move them because of the personnel issue with operating the plant. Then,
If you could speak into the mic,
sorry.
please.
So there's 2 more that would be supervisors. There's 2 at the filter plant that can go over there, and then I believe Nate has 1 or 2 openings that we've had employees apply for that we could move to public works also.
So what I understood you to be saying earlier too, Doug, is that as our employees that are in Unit 33, as they move into Unit 4, which has longer term viability, they want to make that move because that's job protection for the long term. But then that opens up positions in Unit 33 to the point where I think you mentioned safety factors come into being and operational viability where we don't have operators sufficient to operate Unit 33. I just want to make sure I understood that correctly.
And some of the Unit 4 work, it can be the positions that are open. We're covering it with a little bit of overtime, so that can we can continue that a little bit longer, but just not. We're not going to continue it for another year.
So out of the employees at 33, with everything with 33. There's 10 to 12 of them that we could move, so we're in the neighborhood of 50% of the employees would be moved or have positions within the city if we shut it down, or when we shut it down.
Good, thank you.
Alderman Gregory, then Alderman Donovan.
I just, I appreciate you guys on the education of all this and really breaking it down for us, because I agree with Alderman Donovan. You guys are the experts. But ultimately, and I talked briefly with Alderman McMiniman today, who brought out some great points. And my first question, man, was about the employees. I think that's most important. And, you know, there's just so many uncertainties. And for me, I think it's worth $200,000 to open it up and at least take a look to see what's wrong with it before we make a decision on to whether to close that down, with so many unknowns, especially with the pandemic coming. And regardless, we still would have 10 or 11 possible people without jobs, and that concerns me. Even though 50%, I like to see 100. You know, it is what it is, all for one for all. So that's my position on it, and I appreciate the discussion tonight.
Alderman Donovan.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a point of parliamentary procedure. How many votes does it take to pass this evening, since it's on emergency passage, Councilor?
Total of 8.
8. Thank you.
Any other discussion? All those in favor of the motion vote yes. Those opposed vote no. The voting is now open. And the ordinance fails. 6 voting yes, 3 voting no.
Point of order. Does this fall back to committee to come back for a 6 majority vote?
Yes, that is correct. You may recall the procedure is that emergency passage is just to like suspend the rules, take immediate action. Otherwise, it goes through the normal process.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and place on first reading agenda number 2021-334, an ordinance to place stop signs at the intersection of 13th and Division Streets to create an all-way, 4-way stop intersection.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and place on first reading agenda number 2021-335, ordinance amending Chapter 170, Section 16.15 of the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended pertaining to demolition of unsafe buildings.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and place on first reading agenda number 2021-336, an ordinance amending Chapter 80, Section 80.08, the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended pertaining to pedestrian on roadways.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Chair will entertain a motion to suspend the rules and place on first reading agenda number 2021-337, an ordinance amending Chapter 131, Section 131.12 of the 1988 City of Springfield Code of Ordinances as amended pertaining to solicitation.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Is there any unfinished business to come before the council? Alderwoman DeCenzo.
Thank you, Mayor. Director Bottom, I thank you for the new pedestrian sign we have on MacArthur by Williams Boulevard. The wording of the sign is a little peculiar. It says slow-moving adults. I can assure you I'm not a slow-moving adult. So something more appropriate like pedestrian crossing or watch out or let people cross the road.
Old people. Got people's attention. They're reading it.
Yeah, that's the police department, but
Even better. Chief, I am not a slow-moving adult. I promise you.
As the chief moves
They put that out there for me. I'm a slow-moving adult. No, actually, our sergeant has been using that to try to educate people and using humor, trying to use humor to get people to pay a little more attention to some of the traffic hazards that are out there.
Well, I think that people are offended.
Well, look, it's working.
Well, got some chuckles tonight. Any other unfinished business? We'd like to thank everybody coming out to National Night Out. Last night was very successful for I think there were 6 entities that had it, so we really appreciate the neighborhood associations that coordinated that. Alderman Redpath.
Mayor, we were looking into a company or advisor or something that was going to talk to us about the Springfield Fire Department. Are we still moving in that direction?
For what was that again?
A consultant.
You were looking at a consultant for the...
Oh, yeah. Yep. Director McCarty, is he here? Yep, he can give an update. He's moving pretty quick, too.
Yes, he is. He's a fast-moving adult.
I don't need that sign, Chief. Yeah, the consultant, actually, we had, it was a few weeks ago, the consultants, 2 of them came on site, and they were here for 3 or 4 days. They've met with a litany of individuals, Mayor, myself, a lot of people from the fire department, I think even some folks from the 911 center. We have received a draft report of the data analysis portion of it, but that's just the beginning. So
okay. I just want to make sure we're going forward with that.
We're hoping to have the first draft of the report in about a month.
Thank you.
Alderwoman DeCenzo.
Thank you, Mayor. One more question. I don't know, I know at the state level we have a COVID policy going forward. As of today in Sangamon County, there were 74 new cases. The Delta variant is raging, as we know. I'm not shaming anyone up here. I'm just stating the facts of the day. So I'm just curious as to what the city policy is for employees regarding COVID time or COVID policies going forward. I know that, where I work, masks have been reinstituted indoors. So I'm just curious what the time situation is and what the masking situation is, because I just want to make sure our employees are safe.
Yeah, probably have, as far as quarantine, we'll follow the CDC guidelines. I think if you've been vaccinated, it's 10 days, I believe. What we're trying to do is move towards more vaccinations.
Yes.
And so with regards to the buildings themselves, people that have not been vaccinated should be wearing masks, and not saying people that are wearing masks, they have that option. So they may be vaccinated, may not, but those that have not been vaccinated should be wearing masks right now, and then we leave it up to the...
But the CDC guidelines are to wear masks indoors, whether you've been vaccinated or not.
Yeah, we're moving towards the vaccination. Personally, I think the CDC made a mistake. We kept our mask mandate in place when the schools were still in session, and they lifted it, and they thought it was a motivating factor to get people vaccinated. And so what we're looking at is, can we make it a requirement that people get tested, on a daily basis or a periodic basis for city employees, and if not, then they'd have to wear a mask or prove that they've been vaccinated. So we're looking at the legalities of that, and if that's the case, we'd come forward with an ordinance. I think that's the right direction to go, because the bottom line is we all want to continue to move forward. And the wearing of the mask, we're the first city to institute that, and it was by the support of this council, which we appreciate. But going forward, we really need to get more people vaccinated and move forward in that direction. And what we'll keep an eye on is the hospitalizations. That was the driving factor for everything through this whole pandemic, and that's what we should remain keeping our sights on with regards to that. And then
They've tripled in 3 weeks.
Pardon me?
They've tripled in 3 weeks. Local hospitalizations.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look at the capacity, as well as, I know the county building, they're not requiring masks right now. I know one department is, but not all of them. We're not the county. That's correct. We're the city, and that's why we decided to go the route we did. Alderman McMinimum.
I'm glad we brought up this topic, because if it weren't for this plexiglass, I'd be wearing a mask tonight. I think this Delta is very serious. And I also think what's happening is we've gotten breakthrough cases now. I got a call from a constituent last night that's very well informed, and what he told me really brought the situation home in a very real way. His wife is a RN, registered nurse, and she works at one of the hospitals. She got the Moderna vaccine early on in February, and then a couple of weeks later got the second dose. She is a breakthrough case, and she's having a severe case of apparently the Delta. So she was vaccinated, felt protected. She works in the hospital. By severe case, I mean she's lost her taste, her smell, 102-degree temperature, and she felt like a truck hit her. So, you know, most of us here got our vaccinations 6 months ago, and there's a lot of
We don't have any vaccination certification policy here. I mean, we do in other places. I don't know who's vaccinated around this horseshoe or in this room.
The point I was going to make was that we just don't know how strong the protection lasts for how long. And I think now our federal government is going to start promoting the booster shots. And until those booster shots get out there, you know, we're kind of in a land of unknown. So I just want to confirm what we're discussing here tonight, that it's something to be concerned about. The facts keep changing. We're in a world where we don't know everything regarding this vaccine. And public, you know, be careful. I was at an event today at noon where everyone was sitting close together, and I walked away. I didn't want to be sitting next to someone for an hour with this Delta variation circulating and not knowing how good our protection lasts for how long if we've been vaccinated. So I confirm, and I agree, this is a good discussion to have for the public to think about.
Thank you.
I think everybody's concerned about the virus and the impact, and it does have an impact for those that get ill, and it's a varying degree. You know, it might not be as severe, but that's where the hospitalizations come into play. The other part is living our lives and, you know, the economic impact. I know people discount that a lot. And so I think I've had calls in the office from both sides of it, and the side that's not touted probably enough that it should have been is the part that it does impact mental health. It impacts, you know, drug overdoses. It impacts alcoholism, suicide, sadly, the worry of work, worry of, you know, people losing their businesses and moving that direction. I think we need to navigate our way through it. I don't think we, you know, we take it seriously. Still wash your hands, social distance. Whenever you're uncomfortable, you should leave that situation or wear your mask if you're uncomfortable. And so for those that aren't vaccinated, I keep pleading this each and every day, is you should get vaccinated. If you don't want to do it for yourself, if there's children in your lives, you should do it for your children because they cannot get vaccinated right now, so you should at least do that.
Mayor,
and then the more we have vaccinations.
I'm just talking about city employees and what our city policy is. Nothing is shutting down. Nothing. Kids are going back to school. I am only asking about what our policy is for our city employees.
And let's be perfectly honest here. First step is masks within the indoors. I mean, you can follow the history here. So when you see the acceleration, okay, so it's accelerating and it accelerates more. What's government going to do? Each time government takes an additional step of severity. Let's not kid ourselves. And so eventually, if it keeps accelerating, we are going to be talking shutdowns. And so what we need to take a look at, first and foremost, everybody is on agreement, vaccinations. And that's what we're focusing on. How do we get our employees vaccinated as much as possible? And Corporation Council is looking at it, and I have others that are looking at the possibility of doing testing on a periodic basis. Those that don't test, well, they have to wear the mask or they have to test to get in. And so we're researching that. And then those that don't want to wear the mask or take the test, show us your vaccination card.
So is that a set in stone city policy? That's all I'm asking.
No, we got to check the legalities of it. I mean, they're talking on the national stage, you know, the legalities of things. So that's what we're taking a look at. So once we have those answers, just that's when we'll come forward with an ordinance or what have you. But with regards to right now what the policy is for masks, individuals that have not been vaccinated need to wear masks.
The HR department does not need an ordinance to set a policy for COVID standards. They don't.
They don't, but we will. Like I said, we're not the CDC, we're not the county, we're the city of Springfield, and we will be bringing that forward so everybody can share in the credit or the blame, wherever the case may be. And we're all in it together, because that's what it's all about, being all in it together and not casting blame, but being supportive of one another and how we want to support our community moving forward. Because that is first and foremost what we all need to be concentrating on, is how to respect one another, supportive of one another, and work through this all together.
By not having a policy, it's not being supportive of our employees.
Oh, we have a policy. I'll have Jim Cousin come next week and give the presentation on it.
That would be great. I emailed him today, and I did not get a response because I don't think he's here, which is fine. Everyone deserves
We'll have
time
him
off.
come forward. And as you know, the policies evidently have been changing with, different areas.
They are definitely changing.
Now we're dealing with the Delta variant, so that's what we're taking a look at. That's why we're looking at testing employees. Can we do that on a regular basis and, require the mask and then show the COVID card or not because of HIPAA violations or all of that? So
Not a HIPAA violation.
that's what they're looking into. So any other discussion on that? Alderman Gregory.
I will say, if his fancy stuff doesn't work out, I don't feel like it's going to be a big deal to ask our employees to wear a mask. For me, I don't think it's like the end of the freaking world for us to wear a mask. If you got to get to that point, don't hesitate. All right, that's it.
Dying's worse.
You can tell me.
But keep in mind, when we had the severity of the pandemic, when it first broke out, there was a lot of back and forth about wearing a mask and not wearing a mask. Let's not kid ourselves. We need to remember where we were and not lose sight of that, because it was divisive. And it wasn't until we came with the mask ordinance that really united individuals. And quite frankly, that's what drove our numbers down. And I took a lot of flack over that. I took a lot of flack over trying to keep the restaurants open, things of that nature. And what we're trying to do is how do we make the wise decision, just like we tried to do on Unit 33 today. What we're trying to do is get additional information so we make the right decision moving forward. Because once we do the math, that's just the first step. Because if cases keep going up, what's your next step?
Well, yeah, I'm vaccinated, and I was told I still need a mask. So,
Yes.
I'm wondering when is this,
Especially you.
Well, she's saying that for specific reasons.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
Because I care about him as a human being.
Sure.
So any other discussion on that topic?
Nope.
Any other unfinished business? We do have the final Levitt concert series tomorrow. It's Indie Rock at 6 o'clock on the Y Block. Any new business come before the City Council? I do have one presentation. I'd like to have Megan Willis-Jackson come forward if she would. She's our Harvard Fellow, and she's wrapping up her, I think it was 10 weeks in Springfield. So I do have a gift that we'd like to give her, but she'll give a finalized report to us, and if she wants to share anything right now. But I'd like to give her the bust of Lincoln, and it does state on there, government of the people, by the people, for the people. And your work really helps all of us. We've heard it on a regular basis for a number of years about problem properties. How can we improve our processes? And we really appreciate you selecting Springfield and giving us your most important asset of your time to help us improve our service to our people. So thank you very much, Megan.
Thank you for having me. It's been a really great 10 weeks working with Springfield, and the past month spending in the city. It's been really great. Thanks so much to everyone in Public Works, the Mayor's Office, OPED, and Legal for taking the time to speak with me. So my process basically throughout this past 10 weeks has been looking at the process through which the city identifies and addresses dilapidated properties with, for abandoned properties throughout the city. So to do this, I take a really stakeholder engagement approach to economic development and community development. So there's been a lot of conversations with folks throughout those various departments of the city, as well as ICON was kind enough to speak with me, and the Enos Park Neighborhood Improvement Association. I also take a very data-driven approach to this topic. So I was looking a lot at the city's use of CityWorks and the complaint process. So as the mayor mentioned, there's going to be a final report, which is in draft form right now. But basically that report is divided into 3 categories of recommendations. The first one is going to be for the inspection process. The second is for legal, some recommendations there. And then the third is for the Office of Planning and Economic Development. Generally speaking, the ones for the inspection process are kind of specific and probably not worth mentioning here because they're detailed in the report. But, kind of high arching is going to be moving more from a reactive to proactive system of identifying problem properties. So, the city already does voluntaries, but kind of increasing those throughout the wards, because the sooner you can get on top of dilapidation, the cheaper it is to fix, the more likely it is to get fixed. For legal, I do think the city, and this is, kind of a high effort one for sure, but I do think the city would benefit from having a really targeted approach to municipal lien foreclosures. The way I see it is problem property owners can be put into kind of three categories, generally speaking. The first is they may not even know they own the property. Maybe it was willed to them. Maybe they own it with 10 other people. But it's hard to get them to take responsibility for that property. The second bucket is they know they own the property. They don't care about maintaining it. And it's hard to get them to, force them to fix it. And the third is they may know they own the property, but they don't have the financial resources to fix it. So these three categories, I think, should be treated differently throughout the process. And in conversations with legal, they interact with these people sometimes monthly with re-inspections and everything. So they do have a really good handle on what kind of property owner any given repeat offender is. I'm sorry, I just lost my spot.
Economic development.
So, right, so municipal lien foreclosures, particularly on the property owners that just don't care to maintain their property. I think doing it in a really public and targeted way, not suggesting a huge spree of foreclosures across the city, particularly with the expiration of the federal moratorium on foreclosures. Housing across the country is going to be a really influx situation for the next several months. So definitely it's worth keeping an eye on. But a couple of targeted foreclosures could really let some of these property owners know that the city means business when it comes to maintaining your property, even if you don't live in it. And then I have a couple of recommendations for OPED processes, which involve kind of more outreach to owners within the TIFs, because a lot of those funds right now are really underused. And I think that some toolkit, for example, developed in OPED could be a really great way to help people know that the funds are available, because that seems to be a big issue, is that a lot of them don't know these funds are available to help them, or they don't qualify because of the 50% match. So layering different grant programs could be really beneficial for that. And then another really, high effort recommendation, which I'm sure will be discussed a lot, is a land bank for the city housed in OPED. In order to kind of develop a plan and a system for dealing with properties that come into the city's ownership. They've got hundreds of vacant parcels right now, need something to do with those. A land bank with a direction, with public input, could really help develop a plan for that. So those are all kind of the high-level ones. There are more nitty-gritty recommendations in here that I won't spend your time making you listen to me talk about those, but they're all in the report. And it's been a great experience. Happy to take any questions right now or in the future. Thanks very much.
We really appreciate your time, and she comes from Boston, and we really appreciate it. And like I said, I'll give you this token of appreciation with regards to your time here, and we look forward to the finalized report.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And did you ever try horseshoe?
I have been horseshoed to oblivion.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow.
Sorry.
Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow.
Is that a bust of your head or the?
My older years. So, anything else to come before the council? Is there anybody signed up to speak?
Lukman Hakim.
Is there anybody else wish to address the city council? Is there a motion for adjournment? Second. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike Langfelder.
Stay in the trash.
Yeah, that was funny.
Even y'all best friend. Here. What you got? I want some women
I got to put them back in your pocket. You like it? Nah, I ain't like it. Yeah, the scooter wasn't over there.
I know.
We get a message from Kyle.
I probably did my phone in the back.
Are you going to
Sure. Yeah, he's
That's the second one since I've been on. There was one before, yeah.